Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. The Weather Channel is under a storm alert as Hurricane Isabel makes its way onshore.
We're continuing our live special coverage. Here's the latest look at where Isabel is. And yeah, as we look over toward the coast of North Carolina, we continue to follow that center circulation. You can easily see the eye. It's a very large eye. It's now just starting to come ashore on the coast of North Carolina. The nation's capital is buckling down in anticipation of Isabel, too, as we are now looking at as many 350,000 federal workers have been told to stay home. The metro system closed down earlier today at 11 a.m. and hundreds of flights scheduled in and out of D.C. airports have been canceled. We also have word that in Philadelphia, excuse me, there's 3 to 6 hour delays.
Peter Millett now joining us live from the Eastern Passage area on the other side. What's the situation there, Peter?
Well, Steve, it's wet, it's windy, and as somebody pointed out to Joanne, who she was interviewing on the waterfront there, it's a simple way to describe it, but it's scary. It's true. I'm not holding onto this rope for dramatic effect, Murph. I'm holding onto it because the wind gusts are massive down here. It is wet and windy, and in the 27 years I've been covering news, I have never been out in anything like this before.
Even though Hurricane Alex just brushed the coastline, this was still a pretty rough day. Wind gusts were over 40 miles per hour in Nags Head. The rain is still coming down right now, and you can see the waves are still churning out there in the ocean. To the south, it's even worse. There is serious flooding, and some people are without power. This area was hit hard by a hurricane last year, and the folks here hope to dodge this storm because this is one of the busiest tourism weeks of the summer. Driving rain, pounding surf, a no swimming sign snapping back and forth in the wind. They're all signs that Hurricane Alex is knocking at the door. The storm isn't directly over Nags Head, but its reach is enough to create blinding conditions, damage, and tourism disruption.
Hurricane Charley has made landfall, but it's not over yet. I'm Christina Abernathy.
And I'm Karl Parker. Thank you so much for joining us for this extended coverage of Hurricane Charley.
Well, we'll have several live updates throughout the night. Storm tracker Jim Cantori joins us live from downtown Fort Myers. Jim, how are things there now?
Well, Christina, it's dark right now. There's no power in the city, and if I look across the river, yeah, I can see cars coming across the bridge, but I cannot see power in North Fort Myers or out toward the coastline as well, and that's been expected too. There have been reports of approximately 1 million people without power. Some of that could actually be the power company shutting down power so they can reestablish those grids faster. They're not doing that on purpose. They're doing it so they can get power back quicker. So that is something, if we find more information out for you, we'll definitely let you know. But as far as I can see, and here at the hotel, we have no power tonight. It's the satellite generator truck that we're obviously allowing us to show these lights here to you this evening.
And a good Saturday morning. I'm Bill Keneally.
And I'm Kelly Cass. Thank you for joining us. We are in storm alert mode here at the Weather Channel as Hurricane Francis slowly but surely inches its way toward the Florida coastline.
And thankfully it's lost a little steam, but not a whole lot, Kelly. Still a formidable Category 2 hurricane on that Saffir-Simpson scale. And right now it's still pounding away in the western Bahamas.
That's right. Look at these pictures here. 105 mile-per-hour winds. On top of that, the area is still getting flooding rains because the storm has slowed down. We've had reports of roofs being ripped apart, windows shattered, and trees toppled by the storm.
And Kelly, it's going to be very interesting to see what the hurricane hunters discover out there as they bisect that hurricane. Hurricane Francis still has winds of 105 miles an hour. It looks like it is edging westward now, a little bit faster maybe, heading northwest at about 6 miles per hour. As said, though, a new advisory should be in within about 20 minutes.
And Cape Canaveral reported a wind gust of 67 miles per hour at 10:15 this morning. We've also had very strong hurricane force winds affecting Palm Beach and Broward counties, and there are the hurricane warnings that remain in effect from Florida City up toward Flagler Beach, and further north we have a hurricane watch still in effect.
To the Weather Channel's continuing coverage of Hurricane Ivan on Evening Edition West Coast. I'm Sharon Resulton.
I'm Dave Schwartz. Hurricane Ivan closing in with frightening intensity tonight. Right now, the Category 4 storm is centered just 65 miles south of Alabama coastline, and that was as of an hour ago. So now it's about 50 miles away. Hurricane force winds for the first time. Sustained hurricane force winds are being felt along the coast. We've got crews along the coast in Fort Walton Beach, in Mobile, Montgomery, and Pensacola.
And we're going to start things out, I believe, this go around with Jim Cantori. Jim, how are conditions looking out there?
Q. 65 miles an hour. We haven't gotten hurt this far inland. We're about 4.5 miles from the coastline, but given the speed, certainly within the hour here, we're going to gust to hurricane force. Occasionally, I will look off in the distance. I will see less and less light here in Fort Walton Beach, and that means transformers are going to blow. We've got our camera equipment protected, our cameraman is well back there, so all I can show you really is the trees behind me here. For the most part, protected even from some of these, from some of the winds because of the building. So occasionally you'll see the winds just swoop in, bend those trees a little bit, then they stop, then they pick up, start howling again.
Scan and the forecast track again making landfall on the east central Florida coast and still as a hurricane inland, then a tropical storm, and then that curve, that big hard turn to the right, and that would be a prolific severe weather maker again for the southeastern and the United States, the mid-Atlantic, and depending on the exact track could be another significant flooding event for the Appalachians. Okay, forecasters at NHC have officially said Jeanne has made landfall near Stewart with 120-mile-an-hour winds. So again, the plane did find 115, so they probably did find 120-mile-an-hour winds. So even though this says 115, they've also upped the winds now, And Stewart is again the area of landfall for Jeanne officially from the Hurricane Center with 120-mile-an-hour winds.